Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, entities of the fog. I am your host, Guildspire, and we are here today to watch Aeternum versus Elysium, with Elysium killing against Aeternum's survivor team. And I don't think the nurse had screen shearing before the Chucky update, but now they do, and I'm quite upset about it. That being said, looks like Nurse in chase with the Ada, going to be bringing him to the edge of the map. Firecracker is going to be dropped a little bit early. Nurse dropping off Chase, though, instead going back to Shaq from the looks of things. Not sure why Nurse may have wanted to drop Chase there, maybe sensing that the gens might be a bit too far gone. But also our team off of gens as of right now. Ada currently the only one injured. As far as add-ons are concerned, Nurse bringing the Bad Man's Last Breath and the Fragile Louise to the party here, as we do see Ada with that mingled stats effect. Otherwise, though, Survivor's still kind of just hanging out, hoping not to be seen by the Nurse. We do see Adam coming to the aid of Ada, trying to get a heal in, but not wanting to be too greedy, as we do see both of the survivors here about to jump on the same gen, trying to get a early gen completion. Nurse still blinking around. Looks like they may have found the Adam or the Ada. Looks like it is in fact the Ada, now in chase with the Nurse, trying to make the best use of the rock as possible. Will successfully dodge that blink strike, bringing the Nurse further back into the edge map. That being said, though, the chase can't last forever, as Nurse still going through, and Ada once again making great use of these objects to their advantage. Nurse, though, once again going to try and go for a blink strike here. Ada's going to double back into the corner and will go down, resulting in the first down of this trial. One perk rather being revealed here is Iron Grasp, surprisingly. Normally we do see Agitation in its place, but instead seeing Iron Grasp here today. That being said, looks like Adam on their gen about 50% through. Ace with Deja Vu with that 6% speed increase, about 75%, and Nia just kinda hanging out right now. Might be setting up for a unhook soon. Ace back on their gen, Adam doing the same. Looking like these survivors are gonna complete 2 generators in the interim. Nia, though, kinda just hanging out, waiting for the right time to pounce on in and get this unhook. First gen popping off is gonna be the Ace. Adam's gonna be following suit not too long from now. Nurse, though, kind of just hanging out. I think we see them there on the hill in front of the Nia. If they're going to make a move, they're going to have to do so soon, as time is ticking down. Nurse, though, right in front of the Nia. Looks like they may not have seen them. Nia, though, with the sprint burst coming in. Nurse trying to blink in front to body block. And looks like they will not get there in time. Taking the hit. Nurse actually a bit early on the hit instead. No progression for Ada. However, Nurse wanting to progress them to second stage nonetheless will pursue them further into the edge of the map. Looks like a dead hard, but a mistimed one, as they will end up going down. So really well played there by the team. Looks like we did see a decisive strike, but looks like it was missed. Not only did we see a dead hard fail, but also decisive as well. An unfortunate situation for the survivors. And looks like we do have Ace coming in, who will take that hit there, as we do see Overcome and Lucky Break come into play. Nurse, though, still in pursuit of the Ace, but looks like they might have dropped Chase here. Nia still injured as well. Looks like they will dive out further. Nurse looking around, sticking around the hook. Ada's still on hook, and looks like Adam going to be completing this 3rd generator. I imagine we'll see Ace and Ada, or Ace and Nia, trying to heal up soon, as it's very unlikely that we are going to see a potential unhook, given that there is less than 30 seconds left before Ada is in fact the campfire via the entity. So far, yeah, looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Looks like we have both Nia and Ace healing up. We have Adam completing their gen, Ada about to be sent back to campfire via the entity, and Nurse will be once again out on the prowl for their next victim. That being said, looks like the survivors maybe got pushed off of their heal, though Ace jumping back on the gen, meaning Nia is the one in chase. Yeah, trying to make some good distance here. And looks like Nurse might have drop chase on them. No, in fact, a little bit of fake there and a down on the Nia. We do see that yellow progression bar on the recovery, that there is an unbreakable, which I do not believe has been used yet. That normally does mean that there are some other perks that have gone along with it. We'll have to wait and see if they were able to get a deliverance here, but only time will tell. That down on the Ada may have been a keystone moment of this match, as it may have denied a very important deliverance here, especially as Ace still injured. Adam still working on the gen, trying to get 4 gens in, about 50% in on this gen as of right now. I've not really seen many perks from the Nurse outside of Iron Grasp. There is, of course, a corrupt intervention, but beside that, nothing much has been revealed, at least not to these survivors. Ace gonna be trying to cleanse a totem. Adam, though, still working on a gen as of this moment in time. Survivors trying to heal up, might be an inner healing here. But looking like we are going to see the Survivor on Hook progress to second stage. Survivors doing their best to try and stay out of the Nurse's line of sight, but Ace not able to do so for too much longer, as Nurse has all but found them. Even with an inner healing, things are looking grim, as Ace trying to make some distance here. Let's see if Adam's going for the unhook. Looks like they are as of right now, though a little bit late, as we are going to see them progress to second stage. 1 stage away from being sent back to Campfire via the Entity. Ace still holding strong in the chase with the Nurse, but not gonna happen forever, as we do see the down, and Ace will be put on the hook for the first time this match. Looks like Nia will be self-healing here with their med kit, taking a little bit of time with that mangled status effect. Adam jumping back on the generator, but not enough time in order to complete it. Nurse going back, and we will actually see that the Nurse will kick that, and it is in fact a pop goes the weasel, regressing that gen by 30% of its current progression. Adam, though, kind of just hanging around here. Nia on a separate gen now, trying to get started on a gen across the way, knowing that the Nurse is probably going to be guarding this gen here for quite some time. Adam kind of just hanging out in the shack, maybe taking some time to evaluate the situation, seeing what the best course of action is. I mean, you have about 30 seconds before the Survivor progresses to second stage. That will give Nia here a little bit of time, but not enough to progress the gen fully. And Nurse still just hanging around the hook as of right now. Nia just cranking around at the gen. We do see Adam trying to make their way over towards the unhook potentially. Nurse has found them, has stepped away from the hook as well. Might give the Adam a little bit of time to go in, but opting not to instead. We do see that progression to second stage. Looks like Nurse going to be prowling around, instead finding the Nia's gen here. Nia in a very precarious position, as they are 1 hook away from being sent back to Campfire via the Entity. A little bit of double back. That is a sprint burst, getting the Nia a little bit of distance, kind of bamboozling the Nurse there. She's not entirely sure where they went, but will find them, getting the hit as well. And looks like we will see the down on the Nia. So really well played there by the Nurse, managing Nia there. We do see one Survivor walking around, not on gens. That there is the Ace. Adam back on the gen on the opposite side. We do see it back at 50%, so about 45 seconds away from that being completed. Ace, though, going to be trying to make their way over to the gen that Nia was working on, I would imagine. And so it's going to be a little bit game of cat and mouse here, as I imagine the Ace will announce to Adam that Nurse is on their way, and vice versa, as they do blink back and forth. Let's take a look and see where Adam is. Right now, just hiding out near the gen in a very precarious position, as I imagine Nurse is doing a thorough scan of their environment. Sure enough, there they are. Adam walking away, trying to stay out of line of sight. We do see a blast mine there, blinding the killer. So we'll delay the Nurse a little bit in getting that kick, as well as making the way back over towards the Ace. We do see that blink away, and I imagine Ace will jump off their gen as well, walking in towards the middle, hoping that the Nurse will not see them as they blink through. However, there's the terror radius. Exactly as we expected. A's going to take their time positioning themselves behind this rock. Like I said, it's a very significant game of cat and mouse here, and Nurse is the one to potentially lose it all. A's just making some more distance for themselves between them and the Nurse, but wanted to keep a close enough eye on the Nurse to know when she's going to make her way back over towards Adam. Looks like they did complete the kick. They're looking around some more, but Nurse is not going to find Ace over there. That is for certain. That being said, we still haven't seen the Nurse drop back. The Adam has to be close to completing their gen. Yeah, they are just moments away. I imagine Adam will commit to their gen completion, and Nurse is going to have to make a decision soon, as they'll be one gen away from powering these exit gates. However, do you want to note here that these gens a little bit close together, so Survivor's in a bit more of a precarious position. They've gotten the 4th gen. The 5th gen is going to be very difficult, though, as Nurse definitely in a good position to potentially grind this game down to a halt. Adam, though, going to be jumping over to another gen here in just a few short moments. And Ace, once again, just taking their time, waiting for the Nurse to make a decision. They are right now just sitting there waiting for the gen to regress. Looks like Nurse will be stepping away. Let's see if Adam will jump off early. Seems like they have, but no tears from the Nurse. Ace going back into the gen. Going to get some walking in, trying to make sure they do not leave scratch marks for the Nurse to find. Nurse blinking back, though the question is, did they see the Ace? And looks like they have, so this here will be potentially the last major chase. Adam here with only a little bit of progression on their gen, so unless Ace had the chase of their life, things are looking grim. That being said, Nurse is now going to be going out on the prowl for the Adam. Do you want to note here that they still have the possibility of getting the Ace back up and potentially getting these gens completed? It's going to be a close one here, folks, so strap in for a long match, to say the least. But Nurse looking around, looking like they are going to pick the Ace, surprisingly. Adam looking around for the exit gates, I imagine. As we do see Ace and Passive Campfire via the Entity, the hatch will open here in just a few short moments. Nurse primed and ready to close it, too. And unless these exit gates are well split and out of line of sight of each other, Adam is in for a bit of an unfortunate endgame here, as EGC will start ticking down. And yeah, looks like Nurse does have that hill there. Very little way for them to escape, and Adam ending up the Nurse signal there with the flashlight here for what will be the final chase of this match. Nurse, though, going to take their time here, taking a bit of a rough whiff there on that tile, and looks like Adam's setting up for a potential 1v1 here at Shack. Nurse, though, being patient there with their blink, shortening it, but going to actually shorten it into the basement. Adam getting a lot of free distance here due to that mistake. Once again, trying to summon the Nurse so that way she knows where he is for this final chase. Nurse, though, with the blink, not able to land the blink strike, though. Bit of a lunge there, but Adam just able to barely dodge it. Nurse, though, still in hot pursuit with EGC taking down just about another 30 seconds left before it does progress, and Adam does die to the Entity. It's same points regardless of EGC or Hook, so this is all for the fun of it. But I'm doing a fantastic job in chase here. Going to see a vaulting Nurse, surprisingly, and looks like that there will be another whiff by the Nurse. Wanted to get that blink strike instead of the M1. And at this point, I'm starting to think that maybe this is more just for the fun of it than an actual chase. But either way, is Adam doing a fantastic job here. And that there will be the 4K for the Nurse and Elysium's killer team. Aeternum now going to be going to their killer trial, where they're going to be playing as the Nurse, and will need to get a 4K at 4 gens completed to tie the set, or a 4K at 3 gens or less in order to win set number 1. With that being said, we are going to get that lobby set up in just one moment. Before we do, though, folks, we do remind everyone here today that you, yes, you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So that as a watch of the Midside Tip, auto subs they buy, and of course the Rogue Energy buy using the code COTF. Go supporting Champions of the Fog in the prize pool for Group A and Group B. All right, and we are back with trial number 2 of set number 1, Aeternum's Nurse killing against Elysium Survivor Team here on the Wrecker's Yard. And of course, Nurse bringing good old corrupt intervention. Slowing down things just a little bit here at the beginning of the match. Nurse making the way over towards the Nancy though. Nancy trying to find a way to hide, but Nurse has seen them. Gonna go for a little bit of a double back play here. Nurse unable to get the blink through. Nurse also bringing Bad Man's Last Breath, and of course, the Fragile Wheeze. Fantastic stun there by the Nancy though, delaying things just a little bit for the Nurse. Nancy making the way over here, trying to bait the Nurse into a blink, but the Nurse with a fantastic blink strike. We do see a overcome and lucky break here from the Nancy, however. Gonna make things a little bit more difficult for the Nurse, but Nurse insta-blinking onto the Nancy without hesitation. Fantastic job here from the Nurse. And looks like we do have 2 survivors on gens, but only about a third of the way through at the very most. As far as perks are concerned, Nurse has not revealed any other perks thus far. We are going to dive back and take a look and see where these survivors are at. Ace about 1/3 of the way through that gen. Nia primed and ready on the unhook. Looks like Claudette though about 2/3 on that. So right now we're just waiting for the Nia to go for this unhook potentially. Nurse somehow missing them entirely. And looks like we are gonna see a blink off into a direction. But the Nia just being very patient here, not wanting to give the Nurse too much time. And looks like we are gonna see the unhook here. Nurse probably a little bit surprised by this. Nancy gonna be the one in chase from the looks of things. And we are gonna be going to the shack where Nancy says, all right, down me. And Nurse not able to count to 10 apparently, will end up taking the BT hit and then downing Nancy there after we did see Eruption as well. Looks like Claudette will take a hit. Nurse potentially, no, as Nia taking it, Claudette is in shack. Looks like the Nurse will go back to the pickup though. Claudette gonna dive out, trying to get themselves a little bit of distance, trying not to take a hit here. Nurse though will find them. Gonna go for the blink strike. 2 gens have been completed by these survivors. Nurse unable to get the hit though. Claudette doing well not to take too much of a stun there. And looks like we have Ace here in the wings as well. Nancy getting up and then going back down almost immediately underneath the tile. Claudette with the stun and the smash hit to boot. That is quite impressive feat, to say the least. Nancy though still underneath the pallet. Looks like Nia will be on the gen, and we do have a well-timed pallet stun there from the Ace. These survivors playing absolutely out of their minds, and it looks like Nurse now in chase, or was in chase with the Claudette, but looks like they have re-downed the Nancy. For what it's worth, the survivors gave themselves enough time to work on gens here for a little bit and kept the Nancy from going onto the hook. Claudette passing by the hook, but not sure what the game plan was there. Looks like they will be in chase now with the Nurse. And looks like a blast mine has been applied to the gen. Nurse not gonna go for it though, and we will see a quick and fast dodge there. And looks like a for the people here from the Nia. Blast mine coming in as well at the same time. Just a flurry of perks coming through, being revealed here by the survivors. So gonna be interesting here. We do know that Nancy is 1 stage away from being sent back to Campfire via the Entity. We do once again see that Eruption regressing that gen by 10% and revealing survivors on the generators if they are still there. Ace here though with Deja Vu, about a 6% increase in speed, however getting pushed off their gen with that sprint burst as well. Unfortunately for them, they did get that 10% skill check miss, and Nurse will finally reveal the good old Pop Goes the Weasel. Regressing that gen, Ace was on by 30% of its current progression. Looks like Nancy has been found though. We did see those chase markers there for a moment, but looks like Nurse might not be pursuing them, instead prowling around the gens. Nancy, though, making their way over towards the unhook here. No, looks like making their way over towards the gen. Instead, Nia, with the deliverance in hand, will unhook themselves. We do see Claudette now in chase here with the nurse. This will be their first chase of this match. And first hit as well. There's the smash hit once again. Parental guidance also coming into play. Looks like Nurse, though, will drop chase instead. Gonna make their way over towards the Nia, it looks like. Though no terror radius. Ace now in chase. The Nurse spreading the pressure throughout these survivors. Not sure what the status of these gens are as of right now. However, Ace gonna take that hit. Nurse with the blink strike, trying to go for it. Just barely getting the hit on the back of Ace. And looks like this will be Ace put up on the hook here. And we'll note that Nurse very well aware of these two survivors on the gen due to discordance. Nurse potentially making their way over to these survivors as they are setting up for the heal. We'll have to wait and see. Nurse, though, going to overlook the Nancy, making their way in for the unhook on the Ace. But looks like Nurse will have interrupted the heal party there as Nia was able to heal Claudette not long before taking another hit from the Nurse. However, Nia unable to get the heal in return. And looks like we are still in chase with the Claudette for a short time. Nurse with the blink, trying to set up the blink strike, but Claudette making good use of the corner of the map, the cut off the angle that the Nurse had on them. So really smart heads up play there. As we say all the time, the edge of the map is the safest spot for a survivor to be against a Nurse. However, looks like Claudette not able to stay up forever as they will take the down here. We do see some heals going on in the distance. Claudette gonna be put up on the hook, and looks like all of these survivors trying to set up on gens. Nurse making the way over towards, I want to say that was the Nancy. Sure enough, it was. They will take the time to kick the gen real quick. Once again, revealing Pop goes the Weasel, regressing that gen by 30% of its current progression. Ace, though, with a slow vault out of Shack. Trying to potentially double up on this gen with the Nancy, but once again, as we mentioned earlier, there is a discordance, and we do see Claudette taking a hit off of the hook. That is a deep status effect. Nia taking a hit as well. The question is which one the Nurse will go after, and looks like Nia is the prime choice here. Nurse with the misfired blink here. Gonna try and go for it again. A bit of a prediction blink, not able to land. Nia with the dead hard. Bit of a mistimed one as Nurse was not able to land the hit. However, looks like Nurse will drop chase. Survivors setting up for a pretty large heal party here. Nurse well aware of it though. Claudette dodging the Nurse's blink strike. And looks like Nurse will try and pursue them further into the pocket. Not sure if that's the right play, but Claudette with another killer stun. That is 3 stuns from the Claudette against the Nurse. Very well played, to say the least. And looks like Nurse will drop the chase. Instead, now going over towards the Shack. No survivors there from what I can tell. So survivors in a very good spot here as they only have 1 gen remaining. If they complete this last generator, that is going to result in a win for Elysium and their survivor team. However, the Nurse is able to get a 4K here. This will be a tie set, resulting in a set number 3, where we will see a Blight mirror match. Ace going in for the gen, gonna stop it from regressing. We do once again see Deja Vu. Nancy now in chase with the Nurse as we do see those chase markers. No, instead it's going to be the Claudette getting another stun and another smash hit activation, but taking the hit from the Nurse. Fantastic job by the Claudette through and through. We do see survivors trying to double up on this gen. Once again, maybe unaware of discordance. And we do see Nia make the way over towards the pocket, probably heal up with the Claudette. No real terror radius around either of these survivors. Just going to take their time as they watch the Nurse linger about, trying to identify where these survivors might have gone. However, Nancy potentially revealing themselves here a little bit early. Nurse with the blink, trying to get a little bit of distance with that second blink strike. Make their way over towards the fun bus. But Nurse knows they cannot commit to this chase lest these survivors complete these gens. We do see Nia and the Claudette setting up for a heal as of right now. And looks like Nurse has found Ace. Ace with the double back, trying to make use of these obstacles to break line of sight and to fool the Nurse. However, Nurse with that quick blink strike. And we do hear a second blink coming in. Nurse with the blink, but misfiring on the tree. Looks like Ace going to be bringing them back to the pocket once again with the Claudette this time. And looks like Claudette going to try and act as a body blocker. Body blocking against the Nurse is really interesting, but worked out really well right there as Claudette was able to take the hit. Nurse, though, not satisfied with that, will try and go for one of them. Ace with the potential light burn attempt there, but unsuccessful in doing so. Looks like Nurse will commit to the Ace. This might be a dire error, though, as we do see the other two survivors over there on the gen. Nurse going to leave them slugged out, and that is going to be the 5th gen completed. That there is the win for Elysium and their survivor team here in set number 1. Now, it just comes down to how many points they're able to walk away with through the exit gates. We'll have to wait and see as Nurse will pick up the Ace. Very likely going to be a 1K, what is that? 1K 4, 6, 7, 1K 7 hook here for the Nurse with a 3-man out for Elysium survivor team. So really, really well played there by both sides. That being said, we are gonna get set up for set number 2 here in just one moment, where we are gonna see a Wesker mirror match. So get excited for that. But in the meanwhile, we do remind everyone here today that we are partnered with Pugdom. All right, and we are back. This time for set number 2 with a Mastermind mirror match at the Azeroth's resting place. And let's take a look and see real quick if Mastermind has any visual issues. Unfortunately, just a little bit. But that being said, we have been thoroughly enjoying watching these survivors juke, duck, and dodge these killers today. So if that being said, we do have Maria here, I believe, trying their best, but unfortunately getting caught on some objects here as they will try and make their way out of the main building over to another tile. Wesker in hot pursuit, though. As far as builds are concerned, let's take a look and see what the Wesker brought. Of course, the good old Corrupt Intervention. As far as add-ons are, though, the ever-contentious Lab Photo and Unicorn Medallion. It is always interesting to hear how killers view each individual add-on and their lethality, but amazing firecracker play there by the Maria. We are going to see that stun as well, which will reveal that smash hit and parental guidance. So fantastic chase here. However, it is going to be all for naught at some point, as we do see that infection meter slowly but surely build up. Once it is full, it will be an 8% haste, or rather movement speed loss there for the survivor, and they're going to be in a difficult position. However, Wesker trying to go for the hit at the window. Maria not close enough to it in order for them to get the hit. We do see them trying to go there for another grab there. Lab Photo coming in, going to break that pallet. Maria going to make it to the vault here. And a bit of a fake, though. A double fake, and Wesker falling for it, too. Fantastic chase here by the Maria. And looks like we do have 2 other survivors over on gens. One now with 2 gens completed. It looks like Nancy primed and ready for the unhook as well. Let's take a look and see where everyone is at. Nia off of gens. Wesker taking a look around. Dwight on the gen for a little bit here now. And looks like Nancy will be going for the unhook. Nancy taking their time, though, wanting to wait just a little while, make sure Wesker is committed to elsewhere. We'll have to wait and see if that is the case. It looks like Nia with a very greedy play there, not throwing the pallet, but will take the hit this time round. And Wesker, once again, going to be in hot pursuit. We do see the swing attempt and the pallet stun. Wesker, though, going to go for a break here. Nia caught a little bit off guard, but with a pallet nearby, they should be just fine. And looks like, once again, not going for the fake this time. Wesker with the miss, though. Nia with the fantastic fake there. Looks like they will vault a little bit early, though. And they do have a pallet coming up. Wesker going for the dash. Nia with the drop and the subsequent break. Nothing else here for the Nia, but looks like Dwight coming in for a body block, extending the chase even further. And looks like we are going to see them smashed up against the rock there. Let's see if they do commit to that chase with the Dwight. And sure enough, looks to be the case as Dwight moves further in towards Shaq's side. Dwight just barely dodging the Wesker here. And looks like we are going to see the down underneath the pallet. However, we see the survivor in the wings. That's the Nia. However, looks like Wesker is... No, they're not going to get the down. Not in time at the very least. We see them here at the pallet. Wesker trying to go for the grab. Unable to do so once again. These are some close misses. However, looks like they are going to go back for the pickup. Will get there. Don't see any other survivors nearby. No, I was wrong. There's the Nancy with the stun and the blind on the Wesker. Fantastic plays here by the survivor, and it looks like Wesker will be back in chase with the Dwight, who's trying to get inoculation mid-chase here. Not sure if that'll work out in their favor, but so far so good, as Dwight now in chase, very similar to the one with Maria prior. Faking the inoculation. Dwight not gonna go for the drop pallet yet, will do it a bit late there, and going to be taunting the Wesker there with the inoculation. And with that, the Dwight just played absolutely out of their mind at the last minute vault there. However, the inoculation gonna be coming into use here soon. Otherwise, we are going to see that they will be hindered. And sure enough, there's the hindered stats effect. Wesker with the break. Not much here for the Dwight to work with, so they're going to be going down into the corner here. And that there will be the first down on the Dwight. Fantastic job by these survivors. The amount of coordination and cooperation between them has been immaculate. And it looks like we do have two survivors on gens over on main side. One to jump off, potentially a Scourge Pain Residence. We have not seen that. We do see a deja vu there from the Maria, however, with that 6% increase in gen progression speed. Wesker, though, going to be prioritizing the gen, as we are going to see that is because they do, in fact, have a... No, Wesker going elsewhere. Looks like seeing the Nia in the gen behind. That is a balanced landing, getting the Nia a little bit of additional distance here. Wesker, though, in hot pursuit with those bounds. Not much there as far as resources are concerned, but Nia dodging the bound nonetheless. And looks like we are going to see the vault here from the Nia. Wesker a little bit turned around. I don't think there is a pallet here for the Nia to work with. However, they are doing a fantastic job managing the Wesker nonetheless, trying to use the top of their POV to their advantage to get a good read on where Wesker is, but taking the hit there. Wesker will push them over towards Shaq's side now. Yeah, trying to make their way over towards something, anything of use. We do have a pallet here in the middle. Wesker going to be coming around, and looks like that may have been a head-on from one of the survivors. I'm not sure if the stun actually landed, as he didn't hear the grunt from Wesker, but it gave them enough distance there in order to make it back over to another tile. Wesker going to go for the lunge. Nia with the stun. Dwight here for the follow-up as well to body block for the Nia. And sounds like Wesker with the lab photo will break a pallet here, just trying to reduce resources to the best of their ability. A M1 hit there on the Dwight to get them off of their back. It looks like they will pursue the Nia further, trying to get a fresh hook here and potentially additional 3 to 6 points. Dwight, though, still hanging around Nia with the drop. They are soon to be hindered, however, but an adrenaline coming into play after the 5th gen is completed. Wesker in a difficult position here as they are now in chase with the Dwight. Dwight with some dodges here and another whip from the Wesker at the pallet. Survivor's doing a fantastic job managing the Wesker here. We do see Quick and Quiet coming into play, allowing for Dwight to dodge ever so slightly. And looks like we are going to see some fakes around that object. And another whip from the Wesker, a little bit too greedy. Maybe getting a little bit heated after all of these. But we are going to see Wesker looking around for good reason too, as we do see the hit on the Maria in order to avoid the potential pallet stun. And Wesker with the pickup. Maria not close enough for the stun. And looks like this will be the second hook here for Dwight and potentially the 1K here for Wesker. We do see, looks like Nancy kind of waiting in the wings here. But they are making their way over towards the X gate now. And I do think this is going to be a 3-man out here for Elysium Survivor team. Let's take a look real quick. We do see Nia nearby. Looks like they might be trying to set up for more points. I mean, you're giving up 1 point if Nancy... Actually, if any of these survivors go down, if any of this is a trade, it's a positive thing for the Wesker. Just point-blank statement. Nia, though, going to get thrown, not taking the injury. That is huge here. Wesker trying to go for a hit on the Nia. They will get hit, thrown against the tile. Maria coming in for the body block, it looks like. And we'll have to wait and see if the Wesker is able to get around them. They do in time. Going around the tile, whiffing on the Maria. Maria still able to take a hit. However, we do need to keep in mind Hatches here as well. Wesker with the potential bound. Gonna try and go for it, not able to land the hit. Nia coming in as well. Or Nancy coming in as well. Gonna be going out of the exit gate. This could be 3 out there, and then the hatch escape. That's 1, 2, 3. Hatch is opening, but not fast enough. There it is though, and Nia will get out. Fantastic plays here. All right, and we are back for what could be the final trial of this match. And I'll be honest, these survivors have quite the uphill battle because they cannot allow the Wesker here to get more than 8 points. And there's many ways to get more than 8 points. That's 3 fresh hooks, 1-1K with 1-1K 4 hook, 2... I guess it would be two hooks on 2 different survivors. There's so many different ways to reach your win condition for Elysium's killer right now. So these survivors have to absolutely play out of their mind, be coordinated to a T, etc. That being said, Wesker did see the Atom, but did not stick to them. We do hear that Tiered Race approaching. So it sounds like they are not going to continue any further. I might stand corrected. We see Wesker making the way over towards the Claudette. We do see that lab photo coming in once again. Let's take a look and see what the builds are so far. Of course, there is good old lab photo, as well as leather gloves coming in here for the Wesker. As far as perks are concerned, we have a corrupt intervention, and I don't think we have seen it yet, but survivors will take note of it pretty quickly, and that is, in fact, a brutal strength coming in. Wesker will avoid the flashlight blind. We do see survivor in the background. Another stun there from the Claudette on the Wesker. Very well played there. And looks like Wesker will continue chase over into the shack. I do wonder if that other survivor is nearby to potentially assist. However, Wesker with the brutal strength break there on the shack pallet, but doing her best to try and avoid the down here. Like we said, they cannot give up. At the very minimum, or at the very most, they can give up 3 hooks, 3 fresh hooks across 3 different survivors. With this fresh hook, though, very likely a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance coming in, regressing most progressed gen by 25%. I don't think we actually saw any survivors get off the gen, so it's possible that might not be the case. That being said, though, looks like Wesker now in chase with Nia here, as we do see first gen popping off. Nia trying to fake out the second bound as they make their way in towards the middle of the map. Wesker going to continue their pursuit of the Nia, though. Wesker, though, getting a little bit tripped up, it looks like, and will go for another bound here. Going to land the hit on Nia, as we do see second gen popping off for these survivors. Wesker, though, going to go back to the hook, it looks like. And looks like Ada is here for the on the Claudette. The question is, will Claudette be able to stay upright for long, as they will take a hit here? And looks like Claudette will be... No, they're not going to be in chase. Instead, looks like it's going to be the Ada who's going to get chased instead. Wesker knows full well that all they need is 3 fresh hooks and the game is over. So they're going to spread the pain. They have 3 survivors currently infected, 3 survivors currently injured. They have their pick of whoever they want right now. Though it looks like Nia has inoculated themselves. Claudette gonna follow suit not too long after. We do see the kick on the gen over there from Wesker. And looks like Nia kind of safe right now off to the side. And Wesker not paying much attention to them. However, looks like Ada trying to go for the inoculation will successfully get it. However, Wesker pretty close to them. Looks like they will go for the fresh hooks here. And looks like they are going to go try and go for this bound. Will break it with that lab photo. Ada getting pushed back towards edge map. Not a lot here after this pallet, so they need to get a stun, I imagine, in order to make it worth their while. Wesker going for the swing and the miss. There's the smash hit, though, getting them the distance they need towards the main building, and will not get hit by the bounce. So amazing play there by the Ada. Wesker not going to fall for it this time round. Will respect the pallet a little bit more, potentially waiting for their bloodlust coming in. Looks like lab photo going to go for the break. There is the wall here that is currently still upright, and looks like Ada will be going down, meaning that the Wesker just needs one more. Yep, there's the down on the Ada. I was wondering if they're going to miss the main building there, but all Wesker needs now is one more hook on a fresh survivor, and they will walk away victorious here in set number 2 and the match overall. That being said, let's take a look and see where these survivors are. About 75% on this gen here. Adam off their gen. Looks like Scourge Pain Resonance was hit on the gen here, and a Blast Mine sitting up on top as well. However, we'll have to wait and see if the Wesker is able to find one of these 3 remaining survivors. No tear radius for any of them, though. Actually, maybe a tear radius on the Adam here. Wesker maybe just going for the 1K4 hook here in order to secure victory. Adam is fresh as well, so if Wesker does get the down and the hook, that will result in a win as well, regardless. We do see the 5th generator pop adrenaline on the Claudette. They need to somehow protect the Adam here, lest they end up giving the Wesker the win condition they need. And that there, friends, is a Hex Noed. And with this fresh hook on Adam, that there will secure the victory here in set number 2 for Elysium, for both the set and the match as a whole. So GG, well played to both teams, and congratulations to Elysium, walking away victorious here in round 4 of season 9 of Chains of Fog. We only have one more round. We have next weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. A ton of matches going on then. So definitely make sure you are around for that. Looks like Wesker will drop chase with the Claudette, allowing them to completely fill up that exit gate. And looks like they are going to go for the Ada here, who has been hooked once already. A little bit of fake there, and a hit through the pallet. You hate to see it, especially with smash hit there. And looks like Wesker will also find the Nia, who is sitting in the wings here. And looks like they are going to be bound to take a hit here, as no resources in the immediate vicinity. And Wesker will pursue the Nia further. They are fresh here, so this is a minimum of 3 points, a total of 6 if they do get the Nia down. They are not exactly in a great position either, trying to make their best of the rough situation, but Wesker with the double bound will get the hit. And that there will be another fresh hook here for Elysium's killer. Thinking about going through the pallet, will take the hit, getting the down on the Adam, but giving up Nia in return. Nia here does have the flashlight, so Wesker having to be a little bit careful here, lest they do get flashlight saved. And looks like Wesker will continue the chase on Nia, leaving the Adam plugged out, and there's once again the down and the grab. And looks like Wesker are going to make their way over towards the hook. Adam trying their best to crawl out of the X gate. Wesker going to be trying to go for the pickup. Well, have to wait and see if Wesker gets them in time. Looks like Wesker not going to even attempt. Instead, going to go for the tunnel on the Nia here. Pushing them further towards the shack. Lights coming in for a little bit of distance, but Wesker able to grab them nonetheless. And that there is going to be Nia on second hook. Survivor's just trying their best at this point to get as many outs as possible for what it's worth. After all, it is all for the honor of their team and the players. But looking like we are going to see the 3-man out here for the survivors, with Adam, Claudette, and Ada able to escape with Nia being sent back to campfire via the entity. So GG, well played to both teams. Once again, congratulations to Elysium. Welcome to victorious here in this round 4 match.